Hi guys and welcome. Today I want to show you the ultimate detonate dead build for both bosses and mapping. It runs Archmage and custom critical at the same time. Is it awesome? Yes. Is it expensive? Yes. To be able to run this build you need at least 470 spirit and certain type of gear and jewels. So let's get started. Now let's start with the skills. We have Green Fist, Detonate Dead for mapping. We have Inevitable Critical, Ambush, Magnified Effect, Spell Echo, and Corpse Conservation. We have Inevitable Critical and Ambush because we want to ramp up our critical hit chance, because normally it's like 36%. However, when we have this one, in 1 second it becomes 39, and also from Ambush we have very high critical rate like that. And because we have very high critical rate, custom critical will proc all the time. The detonate dead for bosses, it have 52% critical hit chance and 404% critical damage bonus. The gems that we use there are considered casting, concentrated effect, minion pact, and we switch those two gems when we are fighting bosses. Next we have skeletal brute. We upgrade the quality for more maximum life, and we have physical mastery, minion mastery, meat shield for more life, and elemental army. Elemental army is optional. You can put whatever you like here. There are some options like Culling Strike, Rapture, but Rapture will not work in this build particularly. So, in my opinion, elemental army is the best here. We have skeletal cleric, sacrifice, and custom critical with only one detonate dead, because with the Archmage and with this focus, without the wand, we will not have enough corpses to run 2 detonate deaths. But guys, the mobs are popping like popcorn. That's how strong it is. Here we have detonate death, impetus, energy retention, inspiration, less reduced cost. And here I have lightning penetration. I tried many different things. There are some other things that are really good, but we cannot keep up with the corpses that are needed for that. Like, I think one of the skill was called Spell Cascade or something like that, that creates additional explosions in axis. But I tried many times with a lot of different skills. It's just not working. Lightning penetration, I'm not even 100% sure that it works. It should work actually. But here you can just put lightning penetration, or if you don't have 5th slot on custom critical, it's perfectly okay, you can play without it. The next is soul offering. For bosses we have increased effect of offerings and more duration. And Archmage, the infamous Archmage, is with lightning mastery. Now the items. We have scepter, 210 spirit, 4 minion skills, 49% maximum life. It could be 5 minion skills. The problem is that at the moment 5 minion skills with maximum life and over 210 spirit costs something like 1 mirror, or I think there was another one for 200 divines. It's super mega expensive, but you can always get with 4 minion skills or even with 3. Keep in mind that spirit here is more important than a level of minion skills. That being said, of course, 5 minion skills is the best. And we have maximum mana, which also plays a role in this build. But that's not an issue. I'm going to explain you later why. Next one, we have our offhand. Normally, if you're taking it with 12%, it's like 1 to 3 exalts unique. So it's pretty cheap. It's amazing. All of our damage comes from this item basically, for the most part. We have 484 spirit, And imagine 48 times 15% spell damage. Insane. This one is kind of expensive because it's the highest corruption, but you can play with the one from 1 to 3 exalts. That one is not an issue. The amulet, 3 to minion skills, increased cast rate, spirit, a lot of spirit, and maximum mana. Ideally, you want a lot more mana. The amulet is allocated with barbaric strength, 45% critical damage bonus, 10 strength, 10% increased mana cost of skills. Also, there is also a chance, if you corrupt successfully, to have 1 to all skill levels. The helm, 2 minion skills, resistances, a little bit of mana and a lot of energy shield. Here, ideally, you want more mana, and it can be corrupted for 1 more minion skills. The armor is spirit, resistances, and a lot of energy shield. Here, you can also get with a lot of mana. The rings are castrate, as I explained on my previous video. I really hate playing without a lot of castrate with this character. All resistances, chaos resistance. Here also you can have a lot of mana. The other ring, a little bit of magic find, a lot of cast speed, all resistances. Here also you can put a lot of mana. Basically everywhere except on the focus you can put a lot of mana, and with ingenuity from the rings it will ramp up 75% and it can become crazy. You can get 2 rings with 250 mana each, and with 75% increase you can have more, but let's say it's 75%. You go for something like 800 and something mana only from the rings. And mana, what mana does is you gain 8% damage as extra lightning damage for each 100 mana you have. So Archmage can go way up and you can do way more damage. That being said, why I'm not doing it, why I'm not spending a lot of divines to get a lot of mana everywhere, I can do it, but I don't want to, because at the moment the bridge boss dies in 2 seconds. The bridge boss and the other pinnacle boss, the arbiter, they have almost the same HP and they have the same resistances, 75, 75, 75, 0. So if bridge boss dies in 2 seconds, arbiter dies in 2 seconds also. Even if it's 3, doesn't matter. The only difference is that arbiter, you have to after that damage him again because he always lives on 1 HP, but that's all about it. So let's go back to the topic. Why I don't invest on items with a lot of mana. I don't do that because after they start with the nerfs again, Archmage will be the first skill to be nerfed. It's super strong, kinda broken, and it enables too many builds. It fits too well everywhere, and it scales too well. So also I do not suggest to invest too much on scaling Archmage with a lot of mana, because after that maybe you will not have use for those items and you have to sell them, but a lot of people will sell them and the price will drop a lot. But it's up to you. I'm just telling you. I'm playing with 1000 mana and I'm doing more than enough damage to everything. But if you decide that you want to kill bridge boss in 1 second, no problem, or pinnacle boss, no problem, just stack the mana and that's it. For the gloves are very simple actually. Life, mana, double resist, life per enemy killed. You don't need that life per enemy killed. However, you can get mana per enemy killed. It will help you tremendously. And also you want to have more maximum mana. The boots, main stats, maximum life, double res. Again, you can have here more maximum mana to amplify further your damage. I think for the items, that's it. Now the skill tree. The skill tree looks like this. Guys, keep in mind this is not a leveling build. If you play with this skill tree, when you level up, you're gonna get obliterated because there are almost no spell damage nodes. For mapping, we play with this build. It's comfortable. You have a lot of energy shield nodes. You are one-shotting mainly everything, besides of course bosses and pinnacles. But that's how it looks like. For bosses, we swap hands. and the build looks like that. The difference is less energy shield nodes, but you have 66 lightning penetration for the bosses, and you have more critical chance and critical hit damage. That's the difference. For the ascendancies, we play again for Thunder the Flash and Vitality Siphon. Nothing really changed. For the jewels, almost all of them are mandatory. You need 3 of those. Those jewels effectively increase your spirit by... They increase my spirit by 74. Absolute must. You cannot play without them. This build. The next 2 mandatory jewels are: you need 2 jewels, recover 2% mana on kill. Why? So you can handle the mana cost of Archmage, especially on custom critical with Archmage. One of them critical hit chance, the other one critical hit damage. Perfect one will be critical hit chance, critical hit damage, maximum energy shield, mana on kill. However, with 2% mana on kill, critical hit chance and critical hit damage, I haven't seen on the market so far. If you find, you can take it, it's amazing. Those are mandatory. And this one, critical hit chance, critical hit damage, if you can, maximum energy shield. There is another jewel, which is not mandatory, but it tremendously increases the damage. Is that one. But that one goes for... Personally, I found it on 40 Divines. On the market, I bought it. It tremendously increases the life of Brute. I'm gonna show you how much. I'm gonna remove the jewel now. There is some bugged interaction with that jewel and other gems. So look what happens. Now it says the HP is 87. I remove those 2. I put them back. 67k. So you are making damage based off Skeletal Brute's HP to the boss. And now when I put it back and you're gonna see what happens. Nothing changed, but when I remove this jewel, when I remove this gem, everything goes back to normal. So from 67 it becomes 87k. That's insane overall damage increase. Now another thing, now when you fight bosses, you want to switch your weapons to your second hand and stop cast on critical for bosses and pinnacles. We use cast on critical for mapping, and you put those 2 gems from detonate death for mapping to detonate death for bosses. Also, for pinnacles, what I like to do, I remove the skeletal cleric entirely and I put 6 brutes, because when we turn off cast on critical, that gives us, I think, 90 spare spirit. So I just go with 6 skeletal brutes. For me, it's more comfortable. And when I'm not fighting pinnacles, I run 3 brutes and 4 clerics. Again, do not try to run this build with lower than 470 spirit, because you're not gonna have the fuel, you're not gonna have the corpse capacity, because you don't have enough minions. And things are not gonna work out. Guys, I think for now this is the last video that I'm gonna make for Detonate Death. If some nerfs come, I'm gonna make another build to adjust to that. But otherwise, I'm gonna start building the Bloodmage for something else. I have some ideas in mind and I'm gonna work on them. So that's all from me for this video. Please let me know in the comments how do you feel about this build, and I hope you liked it. And if you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. See you guys.